Good morning. Welcome to the locker room. Coach Arias here. Today's message, supply and demand. Supply and demand. You know, I remember going to college in Mercyhurst University in the cold Erie, Pennsylvania. In this class, I believe I took in 2004. I graduated 2005. And I remember sitting there in this class and I believe it was micro or macroeconomics, and they were talking about supply and demand. And the basic situation was that the more of a supply that you have, the less demand for that product, good, or service. The less of a supply that you have, the higher in demand for that product, good, or service. We can compare this to our everyday life. You know, right now it's going on the holidays and Christmas is coming up, and the reason why you won't see a lot of the new games, the Xbox or PlayStation games or whatever the new toy is, they'll try and trickle those things out little by little, because if there's a less supply, there's a higher demand, means there's a higher cost. Same thing with cars. Heck, same thing with women, same thing with men. You know, if there's a low supply of men or women that got their stuff together, then they're going to be in high demand. Whatever there's a low supply of, there's going to be a high demand, and people are going to pay more for that product, good, or service. Now, I was talking to one of my friends the other day that just so happens to not be in the business that I'm in, and he was having a rough time in his particular business, in craft, in his career of choice. And I told him, you know what? The more people that can do what you can do, whether it's noble or righteous or not, the more people that can do what you can do, the less income that you're probably going to generate. The least amount of people, the less amount of people that can do what you can do, the more income that you're going to generate. Supply and demand. So for those of you out there having a tough time in your job or in your situation, remember this. If you want to make a certain amount of income, if you want to live a certain lifestyle, if there's not a lot of people that can do it, if what you're doing is tough to get through, if there's not a lot of people that can persevere through it, congratulations, because you're taking one of the steps to living the type of life that you want to live. If that's one of your goals, is to make a lot of income. And it doesn't have to be, but if your goal is to make a lot of income in this particular situation, you're on your way, because if not a lot of people can do it, if not a lot of people can make it through it, if not a lot of people can make it through that class, can get that education, if not a lot of people can make it through this first 90 days, if not a lot of people can be a manager, if not a lot of people can do it, you're on your way to being paid a lot of money, because you, my friend, are in high demand because there's a low supply. And I think that applies to a lot of things in life, whether you're getting your black belt in jiu-jitsu or specific martial art, or you're talking about getting a black belt in business or a black belt as a parent. So guys, I just want to thank you for having me, and thank you for joining me today in the locker room. Just remember that. Keep your head up, keep your eyes straight, and remember that if there's not a lot of people that can do it, you're going to be paid what you're worth, because you will be in demand. That's my message for today. Thanks for having me. We'll see you next week.